Okay, let's unpack this. Today, we're doing a deep dive into something, well, pretty unsettling, actually. It taps right into our digital lives.
Yeah, we're looking at these accounts shared online about some really disturbing experiences people have had connected to Snapchat.
Genuinely unnerving stuff. So, we've got sources detailing three specific incidents.
Right, where basically sending or getting snaps led to some scary real-world situations.
Our mission here is to really dig into these stories, pull out the key details, figure out what actually happened in each case.
Maybe understand what vulnerabilities they point to.
Exactly. It's kind of a look at how fast digital stuff can spill over into, well, visible danger.
Yeah, terrifying consequences sometimes. These stories really highlight potential risks with things like privacy settings, location sharing.
Or even just weird details caught in a quick photo, right?
Totally. Unexpected things captured online.
Okay, let's jump right into the first one. This involves someone named Maria.
Right. So the sources say she had an Instagram account, maybe 5,000 followers. Nothing huge, but still public.
And she put her Snapchat username right in her Instagram bio, which a lot of people do.
They do. And she had a boyfriend, but crucially, it wasn't like common knowledge where he lived.
Gotcha. And her Snapchat settings, initially at least.
Uh-huh. At one point, she had them set so anyone can send her snaps or messages, even if she didn't add them back.
Okay, so she was getting unsolicited stuff.
Yeah, a lot. She described it as, the usual creepy messages, often from older guys or sometimes younger guys, sending those weird angled selfies.
Ugh, that
Mm.
kind of low-level background noise of being online sometimes, but then one snap was different.
Completely different. It ended up involving the police. It was a picture taken through a window.
Not her window, though.
No, that's the creepy part. It was taken through a window at her boyfriend's apartment, first floor.
Wait, how would someone even know where that was? Or connect her to that place?
That's a huge question the sources don't really answer, which
Yeah.
just makes it weirder,
Yeah. Definitely. What was in the picture?
It was dark, apparently hard to see much detail, but you could make out Maria napping in bed.
Yeah.
Her boyfriend was in the living room.
And no caption, just the photo.
Just the photo. Silent, intrusive.
And she didn't see it right away.
No, hours later. She was going through messages from people she didn't know, saw it, and just panicked.
I bet. What did she do?
Smart move, actually. Screenshotted it immediately, then showed her boyfriend.
And they tried to figure out who sent it.
Yeah, they replied right from her account, just asking, "Who is this?"
Did they get a response?
Well, first they added the account back, and they noticed something odd.
What was
The
that?
snap score. It was high, like 50,000 or so.
Okay, so for people who don't use Snapchat much, what does that mean?
It basically means the account wasn't new. It wasn't some throwaway spam account created just for this. It suggested a real active user, someone established.
So not a bot. A person. Did they say who they were?
The reply was just, "John, LOL." After sending a picture like that, that's brazen. Incredibly unsettling. So Maria's boyfriend replied, "We're calling the police."
And what did John say to that?
Even creepier. "Okay, cool. Let me know if you need help calling them."
Oh, just doubling down.
And then, poof, the account blocked Maria. Silence.
So the digital trail just went cold. Did they try looking through her Instagram followers?
They did. Found multiple Johns, apparently, but without a last name from the Snapchat. Impossible. Dead end.
But it didn't end there. The source says something happened later that night.
Yeah, this is where it really escalates from digital harassment to something physical. They were asleep, and a crash woke them up.
Oh no, what was it?
The dining room window shattered, and there was a house brick lying on the floor inside.
A brick. Where did that come from?
They figured it probably came from a renovation site nearby. Someone picked it up and threw it through the window.
Okay, now they definitely have something concrete for the police.
Yeah.
Property damage.
Exactly. They called 911.
Yeah.
The police could now issue a subpoena to Snapchat, try to get info on that John account.
Did that lead anywhere?
A detective was assigned, but the source says weeks passed. Not much info came back to them. And in the meantime,
What happened to the Snapchat account?
it just vanished. Couldn't find it in searches anymore, either deleted by the user or maybe banned by Snapchat. Either way, gone.
So they still don't know who John was.
Nope. Total mystery. The source mentions they might have even brushed off the snap as just a weird, creepy prank before the brick incident.
But the brick changed everything, made it real.
Absolutely. Confirmed it was malicious, targeted. The source floats a theory. Maybe a stalker. Someone jealous of the boyfriend.
Someone who maybe followed Maria there.
Possibly. which implies the person might know where she lives, too. And apparently, no security cameras in the area really hampered the investigation.
Any updates since then?
The source said about 3 months later, thankfully, no more incidents at either of their homes. But still, that unanswered question hangs there.
Yeah. That story is just a chilling reminder, isn't it? Putting your username out there publicly, maybe looser privacy settings.
It can open doors you really don't want opened. That line between online and real world can get blurred fast.
Okay, so that's about privacy settings and public profiles. The next story shifts focus a bit, right? To location sharing.
Yeah, exactly. This one involves a college student named Tom, University of Kentucky, lived off campus, downtown area near bars, with 4 housemates.
And the key detail here is SnapMap.
Yeah, he used SnapMap, shared his location with his friends, including his housemates. Pretty common feature.
So one night, Tom's walking home alone from a bar.
Right, but a 15-minute walk. The source describes the street as quiet, residential, woods on one side.
And he notices someone.
He hears someone walking behind him first, turns around, sees a man maybe 10 meters back, and the man is holding something out in front of him.
Holding something? Like what?
Tom couldn't quite tell what it was, but something about the guy just felt off. Ominous. He didn't stare, didn't want to provoke anything.
Smart. Did the guy keep following?
For a while, yeah. Then, as Tom turned onto his own street, the guy seemed to disappear.
Okay, so Tom gets inside his house, probably relieved, locks the door. Then what?
Then he gets a Snapchat notification from his friend Luke.
One of his housemates.
Yep. But here's the immediate red flag. Luke had lost his phone earlier that night.
Oh, so if Luke lost his phone...
Someone else had it and was sending snaps from Luke's account.
That's instantly terrifying. What did Tom do? He didn't just open it, did he?
No, he was actually really smart about it. He called his other housemates downstairs first, got them all together.
Good thinking. Safety in numbers.
And he turned on his phone's screen recorder before opening the snap. Wanted to capture whatever it was.
Okay, so what was in the snap?
It was a video. A video of Tom walking down the street towards his house.
Filmed by the guy who was following him.
Exactly. And the thing the guy was holding out in front of him.
Let me guess. Luke's phone.
Luke's phone. He was using the lost phone to film Tom following him home.
Okay, that is next level creepy. Following someone is bad enough, but filming them with their friend's stolen phone?
It's incredibly violating. So their next thought was SnapMap, since both Tom and Luke had location sharing on.
They could see where Luke's phone was right now.
Right. They checked. Luke's Bitmoji, his little avatar, had updated just 9 minutes before, and it was showing directly on top of their house on the map.
On top of their house? Like at the house or inside?
Right there, suggesting the person with the phone was either right outside or possibly inside.
Okay, panic time. What did they do? Search the place?
Yeah, the 3 of them who were home ran around the whole property, turned on all the outside lights, looked everywhere outside, didn't find anyone.
But the phone was still pinging there.
Well, this is weird. While they were searching outside, SnapMap updated again. Luke's Bitmoji moved, but just like a tiny bit. Still basically on the house icon.
Which suggests...
Incredibly close. Like maybe hiding in the house close.
My God. Okay, so how do you find someone potentially hiding in your house with a stolen phone?
They decided to use the Find My iPhone feature. Lock the phone, but also make it play that loud alert sound.
Ah, make the phone reveal its location. Smart. Did it work?
It worked. Maybe too well. As soon as they hit the button, they heard it. The beeping.
Where was it coming from?
From inside the house.
Inside. Where inside?
Near the pantry closet, apparently.
Hmm.
And that beeping was immediately followed by
What?
the sound of shoes stomping, hard, and their front door slamming shut.
Someone was in the pantry and bolted when the phone started beeping.
That's what it sounded like. The 3 guys ran straight outside after him.
Did they catch him? See him?
No. By the time they got the door open and got outside, whoever it was had vanished. Could have gone anywhere. They checked the neighbors' yards real quick. Nothing.
And Luke's phone.
They went back inside. The phone was still beeping. Found it right there in the pantry closet.
Wow. Just wow. So the conclusion here is pretty chilling.
Yeah. I mean, assuming the source details are accurate, the guy who took Luke's phone, maybe knew Luke, used SnapMap to track Tom home, somehow got inside the house.
And hid in the pantry closet until the Find My iPhone sound gave him away.
It seems that way. The source does note some missing pieces, though. Like, how did Luke actually lose his phone? How did the guy get in the house undetected?
Yeah, did they leave a door unlocked? Did he slip in earlier? And did these guys have enemies? Any reason someone would target them like this?
Those questions aren't answered in the account, and apparently no police report was filed for this one.
Still, it's a stark warning about location sharing, isn't it? SnapMap seems fun for friends, but in the wrong hands.
It's literally a tracking device leading someone straight to your door, or in this case, maybe even inside it. Shows how these digital breadcrumbs can have serious physical consequences.
Okay, from location sharing risks, let's move to our third story. This one comes from Australia, right? A Redditor.
Yeah, username Skinner555. He'd moved back into his childhood home temporarily with his parents and girlfriend while their own place was being built.
And his parents had pets.
3 exotic birds, a cockatiel named Leo, a lorikeet named Oliver, and another bird named Puffin. This becomes important.
So, one night, Skinner's home alone. And he does what lots of people do, post some stuff to his Snapchat story.
Right. 3 short videos of the birds, Leo, Oliver, and then one of him actually holding Puffin. Just casual snaps.
Okay, seems innocent enough. What happened next?
About 15 minutes later, he gets a text from a friend. Just chatting. But the text ends with, by the way, what was that in the window behind you in the last one?
Oh, that question would immediately make your stomach drop. Did he go back and look?
Instantly. Watch the clips again and again. Even pulled them up on his computer for a bigger view.
What did he see in that last snap? The one with Puffin?
It looked like someone was standing right at the back door, peering in, hands cupped against the glass.
Someone outside looking in?
Yeah. It was quick, apparently hard to see clearly. But here's the key thing. Whatever that figure was, it wasn't there in the first snap he posted, which showed the same door area.
So it appeared between the first video and the third.
In those few seconds or minutes, yeah.
Okay, tell me about this back door. Could someone easily get there?
According to Skinner, no. The door leads to the backyard, and the only way into that backyard was through a single gate, which he says was locked.
So, not easy access. Could it have been a reflection?
He addresses that. Says the sliding glass part of the door was actually half open. There was only a fly screen door closed between the inside and the figure.
And a fly screen wouldn't really cast a reflection like that.
Exactly. So not a reflection. It suggests someone or something was physically at the locked back door and moved there quickly.
Okay, that's creepy enough on its own. But the source connects this to something else in Skinner's past.
Yeah, this is where it gets even stranger. The source mentions Skinner had a history of really intense sleep paralysis, starting when he was about 10.
Sleep paralysis, like waking up but not being able to move.
Right, often accompanied by feelings of dread or a harmful presence. And starting around age 14, he had this recurring image, a specific vision during these episodes.
What was the vision?
A faceless person looking in his bedroom window with their hands cupped against the glass.
Wait, exactly like the figure in the Snapchat video.
Chillingly similar, yeah. And apparently this sleep paralysis completely stopped when he moved out of that house at 18. But now he's back, and this image appears.
On his phone, caught on camera. That adds a whole psychological layer to this. Okay, so that was the Snap incident. Did anything else happen?
A few days later, yeah. Friday night, around 10:15 p.m., Skinner's home alone again, playing games online with friends, using Steam.
So probably had a headset on, focused on the game.
Exactly. And he starts hearing noises, loud banging, frequent, coming from the screen door outside, loud enough to hear even over his headset.
The same backdoor area where the figure was.
Seems like it. So he gets up, decides to film the sounds. But instead of just pulling back the curtain,
What does he do?
he goes through the kitchen towards the laundry room, intending to turn on the outside lights first. And he remembers the backyard only has that one locked gate exit.
Right, so he figures if someone's out there making noise, they'd have to leave that way.
Yeah, so he goes to a window that overlooks that gate exit, kind of waiting to see someone make a run for it.
Okay, logical. Did he see anyone?
No. But while he's standing there, waiting, looking at the exit, he hears another loud noise. But this time, from the opposite side of the house entirely.
A distraction, maybe.
That's what the police later theorized. His video, which he shared on Reddit, apparently shows him aiming the camera at the exit. You hear the banging sounds, that he turns on kitchen lights and stops recording.
And the online community got involved again.
Yep. People on Reddit helped enhance the videos, analyze them.
Did they find anything interesting in the enhancements?
They did. Apparently some details became clear, like you could better see the layout of the room, this big mess in the corner mentioned in the Snap context.
And the figure from the original Snap.
This is the really creepy part. When they compared the enhanced Snap image to the video Skinner took later that night, the figure that looked like a person at the door It was gone in the later video.
So it was there during the snap, but not there later when he was filming the banging.
Correct. Which deepens the mystery. Skinner called the police about the banging incident.
What did they make of it? Especially the videos.
According to the source, the videos freaked even them out. Their theory was basically an attempted robbery by a two-man team.
How did they figure that?
They thought maybe one guy managed to break in somehow, realized Skinner was home, maybe panicked. The second guy outside then started banging on the other side of the house to try and lure Skinner away, create a diversion.
And when Skinner didn't fall for it, they both just left.
That was the police theory, yeah. Both escaped.
Did Skinner buy that?
He had serious doubts. His main issue was, how did they supposedly break in and then leave? But when the police arrived, all the doors and windows were found locked from the inside.
Good point. How do you lock a door from the inside after you've left?
Exactly. Didn't really track from. So years later, the source says this whole thing is still just an internet mystery.
How did someone get in, if they did? What exactly was going on with the noises? And that figure in the snap connected to his sleep paralysis. Just unresolved.
It really is. This case highlights how a quick digital photo can capture something crucial you miss completely in the moment.
And the power of online communities trying to piece things together.
Definitely. But it also shows how some events, even with digital evidence and investigation, just remain stubbornly unexplained. That blend of digital capture, real-world intrusion, and deep personal fear. It's potent.
So wrapping these three stories together, we've gone through these accounts, all sourced online, connecting Snapchat use to some really frightening real-world stuff.
Yeah, there's a clear thread, isn't there? Each one shows vulnerabilities. Privacy settings, in Maria's case, location sharing with Tom.
And just capturing unsettling, unexplained details like in Skinner's story.
And in every case, it's about that boundary break. Digital interaction leading directly to physical intrusion, physical fear, unanswered questions.
We've taken this deep dive, looked closely at the details from the sources, tried to understand what makes these experiences so disturbing.
And it really leaves you thinking, doesn't it? A final thought maybe for you listening.
Yeah.
In this world where we share so much, so casually, little glimpses of our lives, where we are, what we're doing, even shots inside our homes. How aware are we really of who might be watching?
And what happens when those digital glimpses, those little bits of shared data, actually connect with our physical space? What are the real-world implications?
Something to definitely think about.